odd timing.
It's just stupid. Stupid is what it is. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, but it's very stupid.
Well, I think probably there is a time window in which those games all have to be announced and released. And they want to do a little bit of a splash. We know how big a deal NFL schedule release day is, but that happens in the off season. I think it's a little different with college because of travel planning and booking and all of that stuff. It's not like you can wait until February, the following season's games. But I will say that Tuesday night, leading into week 4, when everybody's thinking about games that are happening right now, is an odd time to say, here's our SEC Network schedule release special. We'll see you at 6 Central on SEC Network.
But why can't you wait until 10 days after the Super Bowl to make it public? Tell the schools, hey, start working out your logistics. We already knew who everybody was going to play anyway. That's the beauty of schedule releases. You knew who the non-conference teams were. You knew who the conference teams were. It's just about when you're going to play them.
If you we put together a schedule in literally a month in 2020.
Exactly.
It took a month to tell everybody, you're going here, get ready to do it. And yeah, you don't need to put it out too far ahead of time.
And it went swimmingly. This is the kind of stuff we talk about it all the time.
Well, I don't know about that, but
something the NFL does better than anybody else in sports is public relations. Mm-hmm. They do it better than anybody else. If you are a fan of an NFL team, 11 months out of the year, they basically concede March to college basketball. They don't do anything in March, really. They just kind of let college basketball have its month. The 11 other months, though, they are either playing games, having a combine, a draft, free agency, OTAs, and when there's a little bit of dead period, schedule release. Mm-hmm. College football, as good and healthy as the regular season of college football is, the numbers last week, guess what? They were awesome. Attendance is going down, and that's kind of an issue, but people are watching, and the sport is fun. And it's growing, which is a great thing. But college football dies after the national championship game for a while. Signing day happens during the season. Maybe the portal windows will help. The people that cover the sport really need to lean into portal windows and make it a spectacle like free agency. Lean into it. Make it an event. But college football kind of dies for the fan for a while. Here's a great way to get yourself back in the news when there is none. When you've got no football.
But if you release the dates of the schools, it's absolutely going to get leaked.
Doesn't in the NFL.
Say what?
It doesn't in the NFL.
They don't really release it to the teams, though, until schedule release day. I mean, your point a second ago was go ahead and let the teams know so they can be handling planning. 100% those dates will get leaked.
Well, then don't give it to them until release day.
What is the planning? If nobody knows the dates, nobody's booking hotels. You don't have to. I mean, February is plenty of time to book a trip for September.
Yes. As you said, they did it in a month 2 years ago.
Yeah, but nobody was traveling.
I mean, if you can't. They do it for college basketball, college baseball. If you're trying to tell me you can't move the football team and the band, if I give you 9 months' notice or 7 months' notice, then you're just not good at your jobs. There's no other way around that.
I suppose. But we do have schedules. If you would like to explore those, what it's going to look like for Mississippi State, what it's going to look like for Ole Miss. Here's Mississippi State. They start out with 3 straight home games next year. Southeastern Louisiana in week 1. Arizona, return trip in week 2. LSU in Starkville in week 3. Then Mississippi State goes on the road for the first time to South Carolina in week 4. They come back home and face Alabama and Western Michigan in consecutive weeks. That is 5 of the first 6 games at home. Now, scheduling quirk, Mississippi State has 8 home games next year. And yet, as Brian Haydad pointed out, even with 8 home games, after the bye week, Mississippi State will play 3 of its next 4 on the road. They will go to Arkansas, go to Auburn, host Kentucky, and then go to Texas A&M before closing out the last, two of the last 3 weekends of November at home against Southern Miss, and then on Thanksgiving night with the Egg Bowl against Ole Miss.
Yeah, kind of cool. State's never played Southern the week before the Egg Bowl.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
So 8 home games
it is
next
something,
year.
Though. 8 home games, and you still get a stretch with 3 out of 4 on the road. I mean, that is – I guess the one thing that it strikes me about this schedule is you remember in 2020, State was supposed to play Alabama early in the year, and then obviously they got messed up with COVID. Finally, this year it looks like – or next year, I guess I should say – they will play Alabama kind of early in the year.
Yeah. Now, 3 out of 4 on the road is how you look at it, glass half empty. If you want to go glass half full, you can say State plays 4 of its first 5 at home, and they play 3 of their last 4 at home. And then you could just kind of take that little middle section of the season and be like, oh, well, they've got 2 out of 3 on the road. However you want to do it.
Right.
Spin it however you would like. That is Mississippi State's schedule next year. Ole Miss's schedule next year does not include 8 home games. The Rebels open against Mercer, and then they go to New Orleans to take on Tulane in week 2. Then back home for a game against Georgia Tech. Then a road trip to Tuscaloosa in week 4. So Mercer, Tulane, Georgia Tech, Alabama in September. LSU and Arkansas, back-to-back home games. Then an open date in the middle of October before traveling to Auburn and then hosting Vanderbilt. Then they split the final 4 games, home away, home away. A&M at Georgia, ULM at Mississippi State on Thanksgiving night. Couple things that stand out. LSU and Arkansas relatively early in the season, both before Halloween, but first 2 weeks of October. Vanderbilt slides back a little deeper in the schedule. Georgia is the rotating cross-division opponent. And ULM
have fun with that.
Your place the week before.
Yeah. Just getting Georgia is just not fun right now. I saw
Ole Miss has not been to Athens since 2012.
Well, that sucks for them.
Welcome back.
That sucks. I saw somebody that does what we do in South Carolina say that Shane Beamer's program should be at least competitive with Georgia in year 2, and I thought, you should not have a platform anymore. It should be taken from you. You're the dumbest person on earth. What Georgia is doing cannot be matched by basically anybody. There's like 4 programs in America that can afford to keep up. And oh, by the way, they're really well coached on top of it all. So, anyway, yeah, getting Georgia stinks. But it does feel like this is more balanced, spread out a little bit. You don't have Arkansas on the road before the Egg Bowl. It's Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah.
Like you said, Vanderbilt's deeper. Alabama, until proven otherwise, is a schedule loss, but it's early in the season and they will be breaking in a new, likely extremely good quarterback. But at least it's a new one. So there's some balance there for them.
Yeah. You know, when you look at Mississippi State's schedule, I mean, if you're trying to pick like a 3 or 4 game window where you go, whew, it's at Arkansas, at Auburn, Kentucky, at Texas A&M, I think that's the 4 game window where you look at it, you're like, better strap your headgear on tight for that month.